Sussan Ley is the member who represents Albury. She is also a part of the Morrison government's front bench, but this morning asked whether this border should be closing, and she said they didn't see the case as to why it should be. But just a few hours later, after a call from the Prime Minister changing her tune, we have also seen criticism from the National Senator Bridget McKenzie, who represents across the border here near in Wodonga is where her office is, but she represents Victoria as a senator, very critical of the fact that a lot of these communities around here are going to be hurting as a result of this.
There's a lot of people who are suggesting that the border between Victoria and New South Wales should be closed given this outbreak. What's your position on that?
That would be a big mistake. I live in Albury. We've got Wodonga just on the other side, and I represent the entire southern border where the Murray River is, and it would devastate our regional economy.
The New South Wales-Victoria border is closing. Do you support that decision?
Look, I do. It will be made with the best health advice. It's not the time now to be critical or say that things weren't done as well as they could have. I simply draw a line under where we are today. Of course we'll manage it. We're country people, we're resilient, we understand why these things need to be done.
There's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of anger. I'm getting calls to my electorate office in Wodonga since the announcement was made, wanting to know how people can access a permit. There's also growing anger that regional communities like the Albury-Wodonga city are being made to pay the price economically and socially for the poor decisions and management of the corona pandemic by premiers like Daniel Andrews.
Kieran, that sort of anger that you hear from Bridget McKenzie there is something we've been hearing for a number of weeks now, that regional Victorians are essentially being punished for some of the things that have been happening in Melbourne. They point out that they haven't had a case of coronavirus in Wodonga for weeks, if not months. So the fact that they are now going to be closed off from what is essentially their twin city, the hospital on this side, and schools, so many people cross this border for work, it's going to be a very difficult few days ahead. The Commissioner of New South Wales acknowledging there is going to be delays.